For thousands of years, people have described creatures that science never confirmed monsters from forgotten jungles, beasts in deep forests, shadows that move just beyond the firelight. Some of these creatures were dismissed as myth. Others were said to be hallucinations or hoaxes. But what if some of them were based on something real? In recent years, scientists have discovered species once thought extinct. Gigantic squids, prehistoric fish, entire ecosystems hiding in underwater caves. Which raises the question, how much do we really know about the world we live in? In Part 1 and Part 2, we uncovered beasts from the mountains of Africa to the skies above Alaska. But there are more. These are 7 mythical creatures you won't believe might be real. 7. The Wendigo. In the frozen forests of Canada and the northern US, there's a legend colder than the wind itself. The Wendigo. A tall, emaciated figure with glowing eyes, gaunt limbs, and a hunger so vast it can never be satisfied, not even by flesh. According to Algonquin mythology, those who gave in to cannibalism during harsh winters could transform into this creature. But worse, some believed the Wendigo could possess you, corrupting your mind and turning you into one of them from the inside out. It wasn't just a campfire tale. Historical reports describe real cases of Wendigo psychosis, where individuals claimed they were becoming this creature driven to madness, starvation, and worse. In modern horror, the Wendigo shows up everywhere from Until Dawn to Antlers. Always silent, always watching, always waiting. But what if it wasn't just metaphor? What if this legend was born from something real that still prowls beneath the snow? 6. Mokele-Mbembe. Deep in the uncharted swamps of the Congo, local tribes speak of a creature that dwarfs crocodiles and moves like a dinosaur. They call it Mokele-Mbembe, the one who stops the flow of rivers. Descriptions are eerily specific. Long neck, massive body, smooth gray skin, and a tail strong enough to overturn boats. Which is odd, because they almost perfectly match a sauropod, the kind of dinosaur you'd expect to see in Jurassic Park. And these aren't ancient legends. Sightings continued well into the 20th century. One French missionary described a massive beast crashing through the water, leaving a path of crushed reeds and torn trees. Scientists say it's impossible. Dinosaurs died out millions of years ago. But then again, so did the coelacanth, and we found that one alive in 1938. So what's really hiding in the swamps no one dares to enter? 5. The Nuckelavee. From the stormy coasts of the Orkney Islands comes one of the most horrifying creatures in Scottish lore. The Nuckelavee, a grotesque fusion of man and horse, skinless, its muscles glistening in the moonlight, dripping saltwater and rot. It emerges from the sea, eyes burning, breath toxic enough to wither crops and sicken entire villages. Unlike many mythical creatures, the Nuckelavee isn't misunderstood. It's not a guardian or a trickster, it's just evil. One legend tells of a farmer who dared to ride near the shore during a red tide. He returned pale, trembling, and claimed a creature the size of 2 horses had followed him across the beach. Its human torso twisted unnaturally atop the beast below. Modern scholars blame ergot, poisoning or rotting sea animals mistaken for monsters. But gamers who've seen creatures like this in The Witcher or Dark Souls know it feels too specific to be random. When the sea fog rolls in and the tide recedes just right, maybe the Nuckelavee is still out there, waiting for the next rider who gets too close. 4. Baiame's Serpent. In the Dreamtime stories of Aboriginal Australia, there is a creature that carved the world into shape, a serpent so vast it slithered through mountains, carving rivers and splitting valleys in its wake. It's known as Baiame's Serpent. Paintings of this creature can be found in sacred caves, curling between ancient rock formations like some living river god. It's not just a symbol of creation but a warning. When the land is disrespected, the serpent returns to reclaim it. Some believe this legend was inspired by real encounters with giant snakes, possibly even extinct ones like Wonambi naracortensis, a prehistoric serpent that once ruled the outback. And if you've ever watched something like God of War, Ragnarok, or seen Jormungandr rise from the water, you've seen how powerful the imagery of a world serpent truly is. What if Australia's rivers didn't just form naturally, but were carved by something that still moves beneath the land? 3. Globsters. Not a single creature but dozens. A strange phenomenon found all over the world's oceans. Massive, formless, and decaying. These are globsters. From Tasmania to Newfoundland, mysterious sea carcasses have washed ashore giant, boneless blobs with no clear features. Sometimes they have hair, sometimes fins, sometimes what looks like tusks or tentacles that don't match any known animal. One of the most famous cases happened in 1960s Tasmania, where a blob the size of a minivan appeared on the beach, sinewy, white, and alien-looking. Scientists said it was a decomposing whale, but locals didn't buy it. And the DNA analysis? Inconclusive. These things are like something out of Subnautica, too big, too weird, and too unexplained. The ocean is still 80% unmapped. What if these aren't carcasses at all, but glimpses of deep-sea creatures that shouldn't exist near the surface? 2. The Yowie. If you thought Bigfoot was exclusive to North America, think again. Australia has its own version, and it's just as eerie. Meet the Yowie. 7 feet tall, covered in shaggy fur, with eyes that seem almost human. The Yowie roams the Blue Mountains, vanishing into the trees faster than anything that size should be able to. Aboriginal stories of the Yowie stretch back for thousands of years, long before colonial settlers started filing their own reports. In the 1990s, a government road worker claimed he saw one standing by the tree line watching. Silent. Still. Gone in an instant. Skeptics say it's a case of mistaken kangaroos or bush hallucinations. But others point to extinct megafauna giant marsupials, huge ape-like creatures that once roamed the land. If one species survived in the remote outback, would anyone really know? It's Australia. It's massive. And it's full of things designed to hide. 1. The Minhocão. And finally, from the heart of Brazil comes a creature so strange, even locals struggle to describe it. They call it the Minhocão. Some say it's a massive worm. Others claim it has scales like a fish and jaws like a crocodile. What they agree on is this. It tunnels beneath the earth, shaking the ground as it moves. Trees fall, roads split. And when it surfaces, people disappear. One story from the 1800s tells of a rancher whose cattle vanished after the earth trembled beneath them. In the morning, a trench stretched for nearly a mile, fresh, deep, and steaming. Modern theories point to sinkholes, tectonic shifts, or even giant lungfish. But there's never been a confirmed cause. And in the rainy season when the ground turns to soup, locals still warn each other, stay off the lowlands. The Minhocão may rise again. If it exists, it's the stuff of tremors, just with fewer explosions and a lot more mud. These creatures may have started as myths. But myths have a habit of echoing something real. Science has not explored every cave, every ocean trench, every jungle valley. New species are discovered every year, and others quietly go extinct before we ever knew they were here. Maybe these legends are just imagination. Or maybe they're warnings from a time when humans were not alone at the top of the food chain. If you enjoyed this, check out parts 1 and 2 on the channel. And if you believe there are still creatures out there waiting to be found. If you enjoyed this third dive into mythical creatures and sea monsters, make sure you're subscribed and don't forget to turn on the bell so you don't miss what's coming next.